Updated November 10, 2017 130,400. A conservative Christian U.S. Senate hopeful is facing claims that he sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl. Key point: SMR Moore's campaign denies the claims, saying it is fake news and intentional defamation. Now aged 53, the woman said Mr. Moore was an assistant district attorney at the time of the assault. Some Republicans call on Mr. Moore to drop out of the election race. The case of former Alabama Supreme Court Judge Roy Moore sparked a furious reaction on social media after an Alabama state auditor compared it to the story of Mary and Joseph, saying they became parents of Jesus. Lee Kaufman, now 53, told The Washington Post the incident happened in 1979. Mr. Moore, the state's former chief judge, who was a 32-year-old Alabama prosecutor at the time and is now 70, vehemently denied the allegations, calling them completely false and a desperate political attack. "This garbage is the very definition of fake news and intentional defamation," his campaign added in the same statement. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called on Mr. Moore to drop out of the race if these allegations are true, and several other Republicans echoed that sentiment. Republican Senator John McCain said Mr. Moore should step aside, calling the allegations deeply disturbing and disqualifying. But Alabama State Auditor Jim Ziegler compared the allegations to biblical stories and said there is nothing to see here. "Also take Joseph and Mary," he said. "Mary was a teenager and Joseph was an adult carpenter. They became parents of Jesus." Mr. Moore, a former Alabama Supreme Court justice, has made his name in Republican politics through his public devotion to hardline Christian conservative positions. After the allegations came to light, he issued a fundraising appeal asking for emergency donations in a spiritual battle. "I believe you and I have a duty to stand up and fight back against the forces of evil waging an all-out war on our conservative values," he wrote. "I will never give up the fight." Mr. Moore became a national figure in the early 2000s when he lost his position as Alabama Chief Justice after refusing a court order to remove a Ten Commandments monument from outside the courthouse. After winning his position back in 2012, he was again forced out after defying the U.S. Supreme Court decision legalizing gay marriage by ordering probate judges not to give marriage licenses to same-sex couples. "Just get this over with." Ms. Kaufman told the Post she met Mr. Moore outside court in 1979 when her mother was inside for a child custody hearing, after Mr. Moore offered to look after her. Mr. Moore, at the time an assistant district attorney, asked for her number. After phone calls and meetings, he drove her to his home some days later and kissed her, the Post quoted Ms. Kaufman as saying. On a second visit, he took off her shirt and pants and removed his clothes except for his underwear before touching her over her bra and underpants, Ms. Kaufman told the Post. He also guided her hand to touch him over his underwear, she said. "I wanted it over with. I want it out," she said. "Please just get this over with. Whatever this is, just get it over. I wasn't ready for that. I had never put my hand on a man's penis, much less an erect one." The Washington Post story also quoted 3 other women who said Mr. Moore dated them when they were between 16 and 18 years old and he was in his early 30s, though none said they had sexual contact with Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore's campaign claimed the allegations were fabricated. Judge Roy Moore is winning with a double-digit lead, his campaign said. So it is no surprise, with just over 4 weeks remaining, in a race for the U.S. Senate with national implications, that the Democratic Party and the country's most liberal newspaper would come up with a fabrication of this kind. Neither Mr. Moore nor his campaign responded to requests for further comment. Mr. Moore has consistently led in polls over his Democratic opponent, Doug Jones, in a state dominated by Republicans. Mr. Jones' campaign did not immediately respond to a request for comment on a Post story. Mr. Moore prevailed over several Republican opponents in a closely contested primary that saw U.S. President Donald Trump. Mr. McConnell and most establishment Republicans backed the incumbent, Luther Strange. Alabama's special election to fill the seat left vacant by Jeff Sessions, who Mr. Trump appointed as U.S. Attorney General, is December 12. ABC Wire's topics: sexual offenses, law, crime and justice, world politics, government and politics, United States. First posted November 10, 2017 104,740.